Ever dreamed of being paid to dive? Think you can handle the heat of cooking for hundreds of brave troops? Could you deploy a sophisticated communication network in some of the remotest corners of the planet? Can you see yourself delivering essential healthcare in a state-of-the-art portable clinic? Would you like to pull off intense workouts and a paid education? Or execute a precision landing just in time to save a life? Perhaps you'd prefer to master cutting-edge electronic systems in the middle of the ocean. Dare to be extraordinary with the Canadian Armed Forces. Apply for one of over 100 full and part-time careers and acquire sought-after skills and training that will serve you everywhere. A message from the Government of Canada.
It's short tracking on the Sim Racing Network with the Sim500 Ford Entertainment Group A&N Series. We are live from Richmond Raceway tonight for round number 3 of the season. I am Ben Kilcrease. Joining me in the booth tonight, John Mushton and Mitch Rollo. Getting a picture that you see to you. John, we was at a 1 mile speedway, Rockingham, last week where we saw Steve Sheehan pick the victory. Now we head to just a little smaller track, a 3/4 mile T-shaped oval here in Richmond, Virginia. We're getting ready to see some good old-fashioned short track, door banging, bumper to bumper action.
Oh boy, it's gonna be a hot night in Richmond, Virginia tonight. A D-shaped oval, Richmond Raceway, short track, super awesome racing here. It's one of my favorite tracks on the circuit, Ben. You got some decent little banking in the turns, about 8 degrees on the front stretch, and even though the turns are similarly banked, man, they feel like two completely different turns when you go into them.
And they do. Turn one's got that long sweeping entry, and you really got to get it turned down to the bottom in turn 2 to make that sharper left turn. And then on the back stretch, you enter turn 3 a little sharper, but then you have the wide exit on turn 4. It really makes each end of the racetrack difficult on a different spectrum to drive as opposed to most of the tracks we visit. You talked about some of the track facts there. Let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's GoPro track facts. Richmond International Raceway is where we are bringing you the action live tonight. 0.75 miles, 14 degrees of banking, down in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Opened way back in 1946, John, and it seats about 50,000 fans. And we talked about Daytona being home of the big one. Well, tonight we'll see maybe another version of some bump drafting, but with a bump and run.
Yeah, buddy. I'll tell you what, some of the best racing I've seen has been at this track. This track's hosted several different series. It's hosted of course, NASCAR top 3 tier. You got the truck series was here for a few times. The Xfinity cars are always coming here, but they've also had USACs. They've had the Indy cars. And when I was living up there, Ben, back in the early and mid 90s, they had a late model stock car race every year that was some outstanding racing, getting some of the local folks a chance to run on a national venue like that. It's always been home to some great racing. Some moments in history that you might remember. Earnhardt driving down the front stretch, leaning out of his car, sitting on the windowsill, wiping his window off is a fond memory I have of this place.
You know, some just unbelievable racing throughout the years here at Richmond, no matter what division it's been in. Tonight we go 150 laps. It's about almost 113 miles, the distance here tonight. Pit road speed limit, John, 40 mile an hour. So that's going to be something we'll have to watch out for. We saw a couple guys get busted back at Rockingham on the pit stops. We usually don't talk about pit stops when it comes to short track racing, but tonight is going to be crucial because track position is everything here on the restarts.
Yes, it is. And I tell you, pit road entry on this track is a little tricky also because you come in off of 3 and it just kind of sneaks up on you. I've seen a couple of guys practicing hot lap pitting tonight that had a difficulty getting to the left of those water barrels there. So that's something to keep an eye on also. And pit road speeding, man, that almost bit somebody in the rear end last week. I believe it was Sheehan, our eventual race winner, that took a early penalty speeding, wasn't it?
Certainly was. So you never know when it's going to be lurking around the corner. You gotta be more conservative on pit road as opposed to trying to get a little extra. Tonight's championship standings coming into tonight, rather, Steve Sheehan, last week's winner, is leading the points, 42 over Mike Kelly and first race winner Doug Sigmund. Jonathan Lockhart, Brian Syberry, they are tied for the 4th spot, 53 points back. Nelson Rivera sits 6th. He's 55 points back. Then Joshua Scott, Corey Chester, Eric Brundies, and Richard Swavely round out the top 10. John and Steve Sheehan, he's got a comfortable little gap out in front of this field, but it only takes one mistake, and he could lose quite a few points exiting tonight.
Absolutely, Ben. This is a place where the guys in second, third, fourth, fifth on back could actually make up some ground. If Sheehan makes a mistake, or let's say another driver makes a mistake around him and he gets involved in that, that could end his night early. And when you have a full field of 30 some odd cars and you wind up one of the first out, you're going to lose a lot of points in the point standings. Good news is, if that happens tonight to Steve Sheehan, he's still got a lot of time left in the season to make up for it.
That he does. Tonight's race being brought to you by the Ford Entertainment Group. Be sure to give Jeffrey Ford an iRacing PM if you are interested in your very own custom PC from beginner to the most hardcore. Jeff can get you hooked up. Be sure to find him on Facebook. All you have to do is search Ford Entertainment Group. You can also find them and subscribe to them on YouTube. FEG giving away a computer capable of VR or 3 screens to the driver with the most completed laps at the end of the season. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. Richmond Raceway, 150 laps ahead of us here tonight. Ben Kilcrease, John Mushton on the call. Mitch Rolo getting a picture that you see to you, John. Let's run them through the starting lineup. It's Donnie Leah setting the quick time by almost a full tenth of a second in that number 7. He'll lead us to the green flag alongside Tommy Ryan in the number 99.
Jordan Hightower in that bright purple livery there comes in third. Steve Minson in the 96 Citgo colors there comes in fourth.
Steve Sheehan, winner at Rockingham, will roll off inside, and at 66, EJ O'Rourke will be to the outside.
Dave Comstock in the 42 Monster Energy Haas CNC sponsored Chevrolet there comes in 7th, and Chad Coleman brings it in 8th place.
The rest of the starting grid will look to the bottom of your screen as we see if we can dial up our pole sitter for tonight. Donnie Leah, Ben Kilcrease in the SRN broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how you doing? Yeah.
Donnie Leah leading us to the green flag tonight. What is your strategy heading into this race? 150 laps is a long time here at Richmond.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, no, just stay out of trouble and stay just keep on top of track position, stay out of trouble, and be there at the end. I've been getting had a rough few weeks here, so it's like to finish tonight, really.
There you go, looking for a finish, and hopefully we'll talk to you a little bit later tonight. Be in victory lane or at least the top 3 at the end of this thing.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.
Donnie Leah, congrats on your pole, and we wish you good luck in the race tonight as he gets set to do battle for 150 laps here at Richmond. Johnny says just got to stay out of trouble on the short track.
That's going to be key, Ben. I mean, this is short track racing at its finest. Temper's going to flare. Cars are going to get beaten and banged up. I guess in the end, it's just going to matter if you can get through it all. I wouldn't say unscathed, but at least still running.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one here at Richmond. 150 laps, and we've seen in the first two rounds of this series that anything is possible. And don't count your blessings until the checkered flag. Here we go at Richmond Raceway, round number 3 in the Sim500 Ford Entertainment Group K&N Series. Donnie Leah will lead us to the green flag. It's in the air. We're underway in Virginia.
Boy, Leah got out to a great jump there. Looks like he's going to get a nice lead going through 1 and 2. Ryan's going to lose second spot to the 50 car of Jordan Hightower coming out of 2, heading down the backstretch going into 3.
Hightower jumps up to that runner-up position for the time being as Donnie Leah tries to distance himself between he and that number 50 machine. Tommy Ryan will settle into 3rd, and E.J. O'Rourke sits 4th, and rounding out the top 5 early on here is Steve Benson.
It looks like they're going to go single file for a little while here. All the way back to about 6th or 7th is where we see the first double car racing for position. But it's been a pretty calm start so far, Ben.
That it has, as we are side by side there for about 8th or so. That's Rivera on the outside, 42 on the inside. That's David Comstock as they go side by side. Just in front of them, Steve Sheehan making up some positions in that number 66. 2 by 2 for the most part throughout the field from about 7th on back.
Something we didn't cover, Ben, was tire wear on this track, and I'm not real sure what the new tire model, what that tire wear is going to be. So it'll be interesting to see if this huge lead that Leah's worked himself out to, almost 0.8 of a second, is going to affect his tire wear as the race goes on.
Certainly see if we see Hightower start to close in on the later part of runs. Well, it'll be fun to see who's better at tire saving, and a car goes around in the back, and a caution waves. A single car incident at the back of the field for the most part. It's going to be the number 16 of Dwight Beverly. Get the replay brought up here as you see the field heading down into turn 1. Everybody just kind of jockeying for position. And you'll see off turn 2 down the backstretch, Beverly sitting comfortable in that 20th position and just gets a bumper early on from the 9. I think he might have misjudged his braking there a little bit, John, and Beverly goes around, backs it into the wall. For the most part, should be okay, though. Just some cosmetic damage to that rear bumper.
Yeah, and that's going to be something we're probably going to see a lot of tonight. Ben, is guys just misjudging the distance between themselves, the car in front of them, or maybe their brake bias is not what they expected. And if you get on that thing too hard, it could loop around, or, you know, if you don't give it enough brakes, you're going to wind up using the guy in front of you to slow down. So I look to see a little bit more of that before the night's over with.
And the thing about turn 3, John, is so many different braking zones between the drivers here. You know, some guys like to brake early, get the good run off of turn 4, and some guys like to push the issue and brake a little bit later. So you really have to adapt to that as the run goes on. And you have to know who you're racing around to, and you have to know their braking strategy heading into the turns as well, or we're going to have what we just saw there, bringing out this first incident.
Yeah, exactly. You know, this is a rhythm track. I say that sometimes. Guys know what I'm talking about. You know, if this thing goes green enough and you get into that rhythm, you'll notice that maybe your braking point is a little earlier than somebody around you, and you get a little nervous. You look up in your mirror and see that you're slowing down, but the guy behind you isn't, so that can throw you off a little bit. But once you get in that rhythm, it's a fun truck to drive. It really is.
Certainly is. About 20 cars stayed out there under this first caution. It's going to be interesting to see as far as pitch strategy goes tonight, John. Apparently, a lot of the leaders think that track position, we talked about it earlier, track position definitely going to be more important here at Richmond on these restarts as opposed to maybe, you know, a couple lap fresher tires.
Absolutely. I don't expect we'll see the leaders pit with anything under 15 laps on these tires. Again, I can't speak to tire wear. I didn't get out there and try anything tonight, do any laps, and get any gauge on tire wear, but from past experience, I mean, you can pretty much turn the same lap times with 15, 20 lap older tires as guys that already pit. So, like I said, I don't expect to see these guys up front pit unless it's past, 15, 20 laps on those tires.
Donnie Leah has led since the drop of the green flag, had a pretty good lead going there. Before that caution, about a second or so, Johnny pulled out in front of Hightower. Hightower actually has went down pit road, and he will restart way back about 23rd is where Hightower in the 50 will restart. So maybe an early strategy call there by the 50, but if it's me on top of that box, I'm saying stay out. The track position way more important. But Donnie Leah, haven't talked much about him. Johnny says he's had the best of luck when we talked to him there on the pace lap. Hasn't had the best of luck in the first two races. Good to see Donnie up front here early on at Richmond.
Yeah, I can imagine, he's going to be nervous about this race, being up front like that. It feels like you got a target on your back, and then if it goes green enough, once you start getting into lap traffic, it really gets kind of fun. But he had a rough start at Daytona, and I don't believe Rockingham went very well for him either.
So we'll see if he can turn it all around here at Richmond as the lights go off on the pace car. John, we have a couple laps on the tires here. Does that affect the way these guys are going to attack on this restart?
I imagine so. I'd watch for some guys spinning tires, probably bottlenecking the group up as they go down to one, which is always a fun thing to have happen when a guy in front of you doesn't go when you expect him to. But I watched that 99 on the outside bin. He got snookered on that first restart at the the drop of the green flag there. So he's probably going to try and keep up with Donnie a little bit better this time. Here they go.
We'll see. 10 down, 140 to go at Richmond. Green flag back in the air. We're back underway as they race down into turn one. A good start for Leah, and it looks like Ryan's going to get put out to the outside again, this time by the 41 of O'Rourke.
Yeah, I tell you what, Leah snookered him again. He, I don't know if he brake checked or what going into the green there, but when he checked up, 99 had to check up and it bottlenecked that entire outside lane.
The 8 car around in the back.
Still wrecking there.
They keep piling in. It started with the machine of Randy Yoakum. Got turned head first into the wall, and they just didn't stop after that. It was the 8 and the 2 machine getting together, and Yoakum goes around as we get the replay up. You see him getting through 1 and 2 here, John. You'll see him when they get to the backstretch. Just ran out of real estate, really. Just close racing and some contact leads to this one here at Richmond. And man, Bobby Wetzel in that number 9 has not had any luck in these first 3 races.
He really hasn't, man. There's some extensive damage on these cars too, Ben. The 8 car's got wrinkles all over them. I mean, front, back, left, right. And looks like, what is that, the 9 car there, Bobby's car, the Valvoline car, heavily damaged. Tell you what, this is a quick toll on vehicles already. We're only 12 laps in, and we got a bunch of damaged cars running around out there.
That is Jonathan Morrison, one of the other cars involved in that. So a 3 or 4 car incident there puts us under caution for the second time here at Richmond. And the 34 also involved in an incident. And I'm going to be honest, John, I didn't see what caused the damage there on the 34.
I didn't see it either. I just saw him coming into the pits with some smoke and heavy damage there, and I don't know if it happened.
Let's see if our producer can get a replay up. Yeah, because we get the replay up here, John. There was an incident after that. The 3-car wreck we talked about. The 2 was sideways coming off of the 8, got down into Boundy, and Boundy into the pit road wall and upside down for the 34. Another driver who has just had horrible luck in these first 2 races. Dwight Beverly involved in that one, Mark Dingman, Mike Kelly, one of the championship contenders involved, and Steve Cabay also in the number 19 involved in that incident after the incident. So man, oh man, some wild drama happening early on here at Richmond.
I think these boys need to take a deep breath and get calmed down, Ben. This is just a lot of carnage, and we're only 13 laps in, and already we got some championship contenders damaged. We got, you know, guys that have had a horrible, horrible start to their season damaged again. See, this is where I would be like, I'm starting in the back, and I'm just going to let you guys go ahead and destroy each other for the first 100 laps of this race.
Yeah, it's very hard to judge where you want to be at in these races, and it almost seems what we saw at Daytona, even out front, not the safest place. So I mean, I
No.
think it's just the luck of a draw at this
Yeah.
point. As although if I'm Donnie Lee, I'm pretty comfortable where I'm at on the track in the number 7, especially here
Yeah, I
in
was going to
Richmond.
say here at Richmond, being up front's a good place to be, but being, you know, 10th on back is very not comfortable, for lack of a better term. You know, on this track, at least it's not like Bristol where they're going around so fast that, you know, you could have a spin 2 or 3 rows behind you, and before you know it, you're in the middle of it anyway because you've come around and caught up to it. At least here at Richmond, you do have time to get woed down when there's a crash, you know, in the back of you somewhere.
Yeah, most definitely. These guys turning about 21-second laps here at the 3/4 mile. So certainly not a Bristol where you're turning 14, 15-second laps. So here we go. Set for the restart. Lap 16. 2 cautions in the book so far. We'll see if we can get a line going, get some rhythm into this one, as we are just over a 10th of the way through with round number 3 right here on the Sim Racing Network. Green flag back in the air. Donnie, another good start. Tommy Ryan, a little bit better start that time for the 99. It'll drag race to 41 in the middle, 1 and 2.
But the 99 is not giving that spot up very easily. He sticks it on the outside and makes it work. I think he's going to go ahead and clear the 41 going down into 3. Or not.
That's, yeah, thing Donnie Leah can see is looking up and seeing them 2 by 2 behind him. It's like leading a pack at Daytona or Talladega, except for in this instant, they're going to be slipping back as opposed to gaining on you.
Looks like the 99 is making that outside work. He's going to go ahead and take that second spot away from the 41 car. I tell you what, that outside lane looks like it's trying to come in there a bit. Oh, we got a car on the wall.
That's your championship leader, John. We talked about it. A slight mistake like that can take you out of the running early on.
Yeah, he's going to lose a lot of spots. I don't know how much damage he's got. Doesn't look like too much, but that's got to get your attention. When you're into the wall like that this early in the race, you know, you're going to be a little nervous coming out of 3-4 from here on out.
Got to think some of these guys have not pitted since the drop of the green, and we worked lap 20, albeit some of those were under caution. But for the most part, definitely some wear on these tires, so we have to take that into a factor as we race heading down into number 3. Here's the battle heats up right behind Sheehan between Minson and the 96 down low, and Byron Daly 08 outside.
Yeah, I tell you what, this little fight between the 96 there and sorry about that, and Daly, it's been going for the last 2 or 3 laps since the restart. It looks like the 08 is going to go ahead and pull out, take that spot away from the 96. Meanwhile, the 52 of Justin Fuller is going to poke his nose in there and try and take that spot away from the 96 as well.
And Fuller looking for a slide job off, and he'll take it. John, this outside groove starting to come in here at Richmond early on. I think I'm going to drive up alongside somebody, but if you get stuck up on the top side, you can definitely make some ground up there and fend off the competitor on your inside.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at there, Ben. We've got a bunch of cars that are still on the outside and haven't come down, even though they've had a chance to. So it looks like they're going to try and get that outside groove working a little bit. I know that in the past, Richmond's outside groove has been quite competitive.
So definitely, so far, the longest green flag run of the night here at Richmond, as we got another battle round here. It's about the 12th or so position. It's between the 12 of Scott Simley and that 74 of Eric Bundy's, both championship contenders racing just outside the top 10.
Yeah, it looks like the 12 car there of Simley really wants that spot, and he's trying to work that outside that we were talking about. I just don't know if he's braking good enough to get it to roll correctly from the center that high up in the groove like that.
Providing some great door-to-door action, though, here early on, as you see a car down there on the apron there. That's Bobby Wetzel as the field goes by. Up front, It's still Donnie Leah, but here comes that number 99 of Tommy Ryan. John, he's found the extra grip on the worn tires, and he's starting to reel in that number 7.
All about the rhythm, brother. That's what I was talking about earlier. And like I said, I think Leah was just really burning stuff up too quick there. He was setting a really fast pace his first few laps, and I think it's catching up to him now because he's not the only one. I mean, the 99 of Tommy Ryan is not the only one that's caught up. EJ Rourke's in there, and you know, it could be a three-car battle for the lead here shortly.
Certainly could. I mean, they are all within striking distance. If one makes a mistake, the other one's going to pounce in no time. And look at Ryan down in 3 and 4. He's going to close up to almost to the bumper of the number 7 down the back stretch. We don't need telemetry. We can visually see that gap starting to get smaller.
He's diamonding that turn. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but he's going in really high, arcing down to the apex, and then bringing it out high again. And I tell you what, he's letting the rhythm take care of itself. He's caught 7, and I think we're about to have a fight for the lead here, coming down the front stretch, going into 1.
Both corners of the racetrack, Ryan's a whole lot better. Look at this line he takes in turn 1. Outside, all the way down to the yellow. Cuts that corner off right there, and he closes up to the bumper. A good run down off turn number 2 into 3 right here. You'll see he'll stick it down to the bottom again and gets another good run off for Ryan all over. And now we've got a battle for the lead.
I'll tell you what, Ryan's looking really good. I think he saved his stuff, and it's showing now, especially like I said, once you get in that rhythm and you get the car to work just perfectly, the distance takes care of itself.
That it does. Worth noting, Sean Boundy has put behind a wall due to that early crash.
That's a shame.
Leah continues to lead on lap 30.
I tell you what, man, Ryan is just, I don't know if he's just taking his time getting by Leah, or if maybe Leah's noticed that he was that close and picked it up a little bit, but it's like he got up to him, but getting to him is one thing, getting around him is completely different.
Certainly is, but he could have a break come his way, John, as don't look now, but these leaders are closing in on some slower lap traffic here as we continue to log some green flag laps here at Richmond.
Yes, sir. The first car they're going to catch looks like Steve Coubet in the 19, holding up that 30 position right now. And, you know, boy, they caught him real fast there. And right on the bumper of the 7 is Ryan as the 7 car takes it high to try to get around that lap car. He's not going to give away, it looks like.
Oh, man, is it going to get... Yeah, it got dicey there for a second. Ryan's not going to be able to get the run off of turn 2. He gets sideways and saves it.
But here comes the 41 on the outside to try and sneak in there and make a play for that second position. I think the 99 still trying to gather himself up after the close call. Oh, the 41 almost gets into the 19 car.
I think there was some slight contact there between the lapper and the third place of EJ O'Rourke, and just behind those guys, that shook up the battle there that they were having. Chad Coleman was fending off David Comstock, and Comstock is just trying to get back going again now, as he was all the way up to the inside of Coleman for that 4th spot. He's dropped back to 6th after a couple laps there.
I'll tell you what, the 19 cars affected a lot of positions in the last 2 laps. I'm not saying he's, you know, doing this on purpose, but he's all over the track and causing these guys to really second-guess themselves going into the turn.
That he is, causing for a source of excitement back and even for the leaders up front. Ryan with that little slip up, it hasn't slowed that 99 down. He has closed right back up to the 7 machine. Here comes EJ O'Rourke. Chad Coleman now looking for 3rd.
Coleman takes it down low on the inside, slides up. Oh, there's a contact.
No,
is he going to go around?
Contact, and around goes the 41. Caution is out here at Richmond.
I don't think he enjoyed the slide job very much.
If I'm guessing, I'm also in that same boat. Not a fan of the slide job was O'Rourke, and he kind of paid the price for it. O'Rourke had to check up. He even got into the 20, had to check up, and then Byron Daly just nowhere to go on that 08 and gets into the back of the 41. Coleman continues on. Daly goes around. I'm sorry, O'Rourke goes around off the bumper of Daly.
Yeah, it looks like Daly's going to be the benefactor of all that craziness right there. He's going to pick up a spot or 2. That's a shame. It looks like the 20 car. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do, but when you slide job somebody, you don't want to cut that close because they're going to give you the chrome horn. And O'Rourke did just that, and unfortunately, after tapping the 20, he slowed up so much, caused Daly to get in the back of him, and he wound up paying the price for all of it.
Man,
Leaders
oh
are on
man,
pit
that was
road there,
good.
Ben.
Yeah, that they are. That was getting fun up front for sure. As we worked lap number 38, head to 39. Leaders are on the road. That'll be a perfect time for us to take a quick break. We'll be back to let you know how pit stops shaked out and the drop of green flag. You're watching Sim500 on the Sim Racing Network.
Ever dreamed of being paid to die? Think you can handle the heat of cooking for hundreds of brave troops? Could you deploy a sophisticated communication network in some of the remotest corners of the planet? Can you see yourself delivering essential healthcare in a state-of-the-art portable clinic? Would you like to pull off intense workouts and a paid education? Or execute a precision landing just in time to save a life? Perhaps you'd prefer to master cutting-edge electronic systems in the middle of the ocean. Dare to be extraordinary with the Canadian Armed Forces. Apply for one of over 100 full and part-time careers and acquire sought-after skills and training that will serve you everywhere. A message from the Government of Canada.
It's his first lap of the night. Donnie Leah continuing to work around the outside, but oh no,
Oh,
it's gonna
no, Ryan
spin!
loops it.
He spins from the lead and the caution flies. Oh my.
I don't think he got too much damage there, man. He might be all right, but boy, is he talking bad to himself right now, I imagine.
Holy cow, that's the last thing I expected to happen there as we work on the replay for you, John, and you look back and you know that cursed yellow line down there. I say cursed because a lot of drivers have cursed at it. It kind of bit Tommy Ryan right there off turn 2.
The yellow line is not your friend at any track, I don't think, man, especially here at Richmond. As you see in the replay there, his left front got down on it, and he wiggled a little bit and just really didn't catch it at all. He's very lucky, Ben, that he didn't get any damage at all. I don't think he even touched the wall. He got real lucky right there.
Yeah, if he touched the wall, it wasn't even enough to bend the sheet metal on the front of that machine, but nonetheless, he'll have to drop all the way to the tail end of the longest line after putting up a spectacular battle for the lead here at Richmond. A great effort by Tommy Ryan, but now he'll have to charge to the field with the championship leader Sheehan, who is also back down on pit road, probably repairing some more damage, as is quite a few other machines. Working lap number 48 here at Richmond, closing in on 100 to go. Right here on the Sim Racing Network, we'll be back for the restart.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah. Isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Donnie Leah refusing to give up the lead here at Richmond International Raceway, and John, I think he pressured Tommy Ryan into looping himself off of turn number 2 from in the lead. Man, we were talking about it under break there. Tommy did a spectacular job, not hitting anything, not overcorrecting, and wiping out a few more cars. He knew he was going around, and he kind of just embraced it and went for a long slide.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it was, wow, that was scary to watch for a minute there, because, I mean, most times, Ben, like you say, we see the guys overcorrect to come back up onto the track and take out a few more cars, but he did a great job to keep it down low and just locked up his tires, went in the pits, got some new tires, and he's going to come out, and he's going to line up pretty far back in the field, it looks like, back there in, oh, I can't even find him now, how far back, there he is, he's in 26th, but, this should be fun to watch him work his way back up. He's got a fast car, but what that does, Ben, that puts the 08 on the outside for this restart, and this will be fun.
And it does. Leah, Daly, Fuller, Coleman, and Comstock. The top 5 as we are set to go back racing here at Richmond. 99 laps to go in Virginia.
And they're back to green, and Daly does not get snookered by the 7 car down low. They're going to go on 1 and 2 neck and neck, Ben. This is, oh, it's going to be tight coming off, too.
Daly has the preferred line up top, but Leah not going to give it up quite yet down low. Down into turn number 3. Daly puts the pinch on him. Off turn 4 to the front stretch. They're side by side. Leah with a slight advantage.
Daly's going to take it down to the outside, going down into 1 and 2 again. He's going to try and make it stick and roll it through the center of the turn. but he's not going to be able to pull off that pass. Leah clears him, coming off a 2, takes the lead.
Leah back out in front after a power move off turn 2 for that number 7 machine. He'll take the lead for the time being, and the battle heats up behind him for that 3rd spot. Fuller trying to fend off the number 20 of Coleman on the outside.
Coleman, I've been watching him the last couple of laps. He likes that outside lane, but he's over braking, I think, going into turns. Gives up a little bit too much ground to the 52 down there on the inside, but he's able to pull back up the side and going down the straights.
Look at this racing from 3rd on back. 2 by 2. It looks like we're still pacing here at Richmond, but they're 150 mile an hour going into 1.
Oh, wow. They just went 3 wide back there, and 32, I don't know if he just wiggled or what, but they went three wide around him to get that spot. And, oh, we got a spin. It's the 32. Oh.
I wouldn't call it a spin, John. I'd call it a slide through 3 and 4, and he saved it somehow. But we'll see if they can make it through turn 1 after going 4 wide. They're still 3 wide for the time being. And look who's in the middle of that, John. That's the 66, your championship leader.
I wonder if he had his eyes open driving through that.
I had my eyes closed for him.
I tell you what, that had to catch his breath a little bit seeing that car. And here we go again. It's going to be 3 wide, 4 wide going down into 1. Oh, my goodness. The 32 has got to be asking himself, how did I wind up right here?
Some tense times here at the back of the field at Richmond around that 20th position. You see E.J. O'Rourke there at 41, Tommy Brown, they're all trying to march their way back through the field, and Sheehan is leading that little group of those 3 top guys. They are currently 21st, 22nd, and 23rd.
So since the start, it looks like Ryan's gained a few spots there. I think he's just going to try and tiptoe his way. He's still got a long way to go. We got a little under 100 laps left, and he's got plenty of time to try and get up through the field without getting himself in any more trouble than he's already. Oh, my goodness. The 32 checked up real hard right there. I thought they were going to wreck.
He's going to go in the corner 3 wide. He says, you can have it, O'Rourke and Sheehan. I'll just sit here for a moment and let you guys sit out. I was going to say things were calming down, and just as I was about to say that, they heat up again as Sheehan works around the outside of that 4 move. These guys throwing bumpers, they're throwing doors, and 3 wide all the back of the field.
Yeah, Sheehan's pulling the same number he did last week at Rockingham, just trying to work his way back up to the field, show everybody that I can do this. I am a good driver. And I tell you what, it's very impressive to watch him pick his way through this crowd. In the meantime, the 99 car of Ryan seems to be stuck back there behind the 41.
It's so hard to pass. It's so hard to pass when they're 2 wide in front of you.
I tell you what, the 32, I don't know if he's nervous or what, but he's really braking hard going on these turns, and it bottlenecks everybody behind him when he does it.
So these guys continue to battle for around the 20th position. Up front, it's still Donnie Leah out in control of this race, but don't count out Byron Daly just yet, John. Daly is saving his stuff. He has started to close that gap back down to the number 7.
Yeah, I think Daly's just getting into his rhythm there. He and Leah have pulled out to a 1-second lead over 3rd place Chad Coleman and Dave Comstock back there in 4th. Like you said, caution's out.
Oh, and it's a big one. Look out. 5, 6, 7, 8 cars and ends in the championship leader spinning like a top in the middle of 3 and 4. Oh my, Sheehan, a big hit for the number 66. And he has pulled it had to be towed to the pits, John. That is huge.
That's unfortunate for our points leader. He might be done for the night, Ben. We haven't seen anybody take a tow and come back on the track yet tonight. So that's a huge hit for him in the point standings and several other cars that were involved in this accident.
That all started in front of Sheehan about a half a straightaway up when Nick Silver got turned into the wall or had some contact. I won't say got turned, but there was definitely some contact there. And around he goes. The 38 machine involved. That's Richard Swavely. He's top 10 points heading into tonight. Steve Sheehan and just a plethora of other cars. Tommy Ryan involved in it. O'Rourke got a piece of it. It's the big one here at Richmond on lap number 63.
I'll tell you what, that's unfortunate. We're watching these guys pick their way up, but we said it, Ben. You know, in the back, in the middle, here at Richmond is not a place you want to be, because when stuff happens 4 or 5 car lengths in front of you, there's not anywhere for you to go. And it looks like that was the case for a couple of our top contenders tonight. Tommy Ryan had a really fast car. It doesn't look like he's got too much damage, so I'm pretty sure he'll be able to continue, but will he be as fast as he was prior to this accident?
We'll see as we work caution number 5, I do believe, here at Richmond. Tonight's race brought to you by the Ford Entertainment Group. Be sure to contact Jeffrey Ford on iRacing for all your custom PC needs, from the beginner PC to full hardcore sim racing. He can do it all. That's Ford Entertainment Group. Find them on Facebook and on YouTube. FEG giving away a computer capable of VR or 3 screens to the driver with the most completed laps at the end of the season. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. Welcome back to Richmond as we work lap number 67 of 150, closing in on the halfway point here, John, and things have been, well, I think wild would be a good word to describe the start of this race.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, we've seen some contenders, you know, some leaders of the field. The guy that started on the outside pole, as a matter of fact, had a strong car. He's involved in a couple of incidents, finds himself in the back of the pack, and got himself in some more trouble. We've seen our points leader, Steve Sheehan, take a vicious lick, and I don't know if he's going to be able to get back on track or not.
Man, oh man, some just absolutely spectacular battles for the lead and all around the racetrack, and you mentioned it, some of the top guns taken out early on here at Richmond. Working 68, it's Donnie Leah going to lead us back to the green flag. By the way, most of the leaders did come down for a pit stop there, fresh tires, and filled it up with some Sunoco Racing fuel. Byron Daly restarts outside. It's Chad Coleman on the inside of row number 2 to his outside. The 42 is David Comstock, and guy we haven't mentioned much tonight, John, Nelson Rivera. That's worked his way into the top 5 in that number 22.
Yes, he has, and I tell you what, you know, he's getting a good spot here. He's down on the inside. It's a good preferred line there as we go back to green.
Green flag back in the air. Another driver just started on the outside of Rivera there. The 50, Jordan Hightower. Remember, he got shuffled back due to an early decision on pit road. He's now fighting for a spot back inside the top 5.
I tell you what, it looked like our man Daly got a little snookered there on the restart. He got a really bad restart there, bottled up the outside line. But they're going to go single file, him and the leader in the 42 car of Comstock.
Oh, look out. There's a crash at the back. Big one in turn number 1. O'Rourke around. The 96 of Minson is in it. Jonathan Morrison. Corey Chester, a championship contender, is in it. As we get the replay pulled up, it all happened around the number 59 of Sean Casto. Oh, it was actually the 96 that got into the wall and checked up the field. And Casto gets turned hard, and a lot of big hits down in the middle of 1 and 2. Man, oh man.
Yeah, we had a car flying through the air there. Man, there were a lot of hard hits. Looks like Casto's pulled it behind the wall. He's out for the night. Minson had to take a tow, it looks like. Man, that's a lot of carnage there. Nope. The 41 was involved in this one again.
Yeah, man, a lot of these guys cannot catch a break here tonight at Richmond. Closing in on halfway here on the Sim Racing Network, you're watching Sim500 Ford Entertainment Group K&N Series from Richmond. We'll be back for the drop of the green flag.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Ever dreamed of being paid to dive? Think you can handle the heat of cooking for hundreds of brave troops? Could you deploy a sophisticated communication network in some of the remotest corners of the planet? Can you see yourself delivering essential healthcare in a state-of-the-art portable clinic? Would you like to pull off intense workouts and a paid education? Or execute a precision landing just in time to save a life? Perhaps you'd prefer to master cutting-edge electronic systems in the middle of the ocean. Dare to be extraordinary with the Canadian Armed Forces. Apply for one of over 100 full and part-time careers and acquire sought-after skills and training that will serve you everywhere. A message from the Government of Canada.
We're back here at Richmond, and our producer very proud that we are. We give him a little love during our commercial breaks, John. Thank you, Christian Musson on the call here from Richmond. Half down, half to go here at the line, and they are 2 by 2 by set for another restart. Leah and Byron Daly.
Poor Daly. He tries so hard to not get suckered by Leah there. But the last couple of times, Lee's just an outstanding restarter. Let's face it, he's got the restart thing down to a pat. So he's going to take that lead coming off of 2, and Daly's going to drop into second with 42 car in third there.
Comstock. Oh, look at this. Daly looked to the top side there for a second. I thought he may have had a bumper on Leah. That allows Comstock to look to the inside of that 08 as he worked in the turn number 1 and 2. We are halfway through with this race, John. You got to start wondering if some of these guys are saying, okay, Donnie, you've had your shot up at the front. Now it's our time to take the lead.
Comstock's pushing down on the inside there. He's coming after that spot. Going to try and take second away, but in the meantime, they've both pulled up on the back bumper of Leah. This could be a 3-way fight for the lead versus just a 2-way fight for second.
Most definitely. Donnie Leah has not been able to pull away on this restart like he has in restarts past. Here comes Comstock, working that bottom side with Byron Daly to the outside. A great battle for second.
I think once Daly's temperatures come up in those tires, he's going to make that outside work. He's been doing it all night. In the meantime, he and Comstock are fighting for second. Leah pulls out to a little bit more than 5 or 6 car lengths of a lead while those two fight it out.
Look at this race we have for the runner-up spot. Comstock down low, trying to get the run off of turn 4. He's got a slight bit of advantage as they race to 3, but that speed from the side races right back up even with him. Off turn number 2, Comstock cannot at 08.
In the meantime, behind them back there, Rivera got wiggly loose a little bit. Wiggly loose. Yes, he got loose coming out of 2 and could give up the spot to Larry Pace. It looks like Pace was fast in practice, but he hadn't shown us a whole lot during the race yet.
That's a new one. Wiggly loose. You heard it right here on the Sim Racing Network first.
That's a South Louisiana thing, son.
Daly able to get around Comstock. He clears the 42 for the time being. If I'm Comstock, I'm saying, okay, take it now, run your stuff off. I'll see you in about 10 laps.
Absolutely, that's what he's thinking. I think he wants to let his tires cool off a little bit. He realized that he's getting way too much, use on those tires too early. If this thing goes green for a while, he's going to need those tires later on. In the meantime, back there behind them, the 20 car of Chad Coleman and the 50 car of Jordan Hightower are just hanging out, watching this whole thing go down. In the meantime, Daly's making his bid for the lead.
Daly got a good run off the middle groove in 3 and 4, and he looks low in 1 and 2 for the lead. But Donnie Leah fights back on the outside and will clear the 08 down a back stretch. Here comes Comstock back to the rear bumper of Daly. What a battle up front.
Leah did that to Stroker Raceway, man. He was wiggling coming off of 2. Uh-oh.
And we have a caution on the track, and it's Steve Kubay and Mike Kelly also involved in this one.
Yeah.
So 19 also involved. Steve Kubay, I already mentioned him. Big hit for.
Yeah, he's got a lot of damage, Ben.
So another caution. Nick Thames involved there in the 51 as well. He's smoking. Man, oh man.
Leaders on pit road, Ben. Looks like we're going to take some tires and fuel. I wonder if anybody's tried 2 tires yet. What do you think?
I don't know. It's starting to get to the point of the race, though, John. If you have a chance to hop maybe 10 positions, I'd say go for it. Especially if you only have 10, 12 laps on your tires.
Yeah, the 01 stayed out. Is the 99 on lead lap?
Well, we'll see with scoring here. Larry Pace, John, set quick time in practice earlier. He started 14th in the race. So we'll see if he gets, see what he can do here in the 01. Pace, Ryan, Dwight Beverly, all those guys stayed out. And Steve Sheehan was able to get his car back out. John, he's 9 laps down, but he has an opportunity to gain some more positions and is exactly what's going to keep him in the championship hunt. He may not leave Richmond with the championship lead, but a couple positions very crucial.
Absolutely. He's going to try and minimize that damage to his points lead from all the damage he got in the race tonight. He's going to, stay out there, try to get it, as many positions as he can. I'm sure we're going to have a couple more cautions, a couple more guys drop out. In the meantime, up front, we've got some guys that we were talking about earlier. The 99 of Tommy Ryan, he had some bad luck earlier, got involved in a couple incidents and fell back. He stays out on these, this caution with 10, 15 extra laps on those tires. It looks like the first car off of pit road is going to be Donnie Leah with 4 fresh ones.
Yeah, and Brian Wortman comes to pit road now. That leaves 4 guys out on the track with older tires, and no offense to any of them, but man, those cars do not look the prettiest. The paint schemes look amazing. The bodywork, however, not looking so good on any of the top 4. Larry Pace is about the cleanest of them all.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say it, but since you did, that's some bent up sheet metal up there at the front of the back. But good news, this is Richmond. Aerodynamics don't matter. You can race a modified looking car on here, still at least get you. Well, who was it? Harry Gant a while back. They did that. Juan here at Richmond, and I don't even think he had any of his fenders on his car.
Anything's possible on the short track, especially when it comes to body work. We know that for a fact, as these top 4, they're staying out. So this is really going to shake up the field, John. Not only are these faster guys going to have to get around, these faster guys will have 4 fresh tires, and turn 1 and turn 2, and the first couple laps are going to be quite frantic, working their way around these guys on the tires.
Yeah, we're at that point in the race where you got to be a little patient, but you can't afford to be too patient. You know what I'm saying? You can't wait too long to try and pick your way around these guys with these older tires, because you got, have the pack breathing down your neck. And if you are a former leader in the 7 car, Mr. Leah, what do you do, Ben? You take it easy or you go hard?
I wouldn't have any idea. I would just try and make it back to the front. We'll see what he does on this restart as we're underway at Richmond. Comstock puts the bumper to the 6 machine. And so far, we are clean as they race to turn 1.
Yeah, it looks like the 6 spun those tires, so he's going to drop back a bunch of spots all the way back to 6, it looks like. In the meantime, the 7 car is picking his way through that group. He's up to 3rd. He's going to put some pressure on the 99 for that 2nd spot. In the meantime, the 01's got the lead, and he's going to step it out a little.
And Leah had such a good run off turn 4. He almost run up under the back end of the 99 of Tommy Ryan. Leah will be able to clear the 99 off turn number 2 for 2nd. And now Donnie Leah sets his sights back on the front of the field, trying to get his lead back.
Oh, the 99 in the wall,
Daly.
and the checkup behind him causes a big wreck.
Oh, and he gets nailed hard. Byron Daly, that'll be it for his race. Man, oh man, a bad break for Byron Daly. Work on the replay. You see him heading down the backstretch, trying to work around these slower cars. And through 3 and 4 there, Tommy Ryan just trying to get as much as he could off 4. Gets into the wall. Daly tried to avoid him and just goes for a spin. The 16 of Dwight Beverly. Man, he gets involved in another one there. And just a bad break for Daly as he got hit full speed by the 32.
Yeah, I believe it's going to be it for him. The 32, I believe Minson got hit pretty hard up there on the outside. It was just a big chain reaction thing, Ben, coming off of 4 there. The 99 got in the wall, and it was melee after that.
And it was. So caution out again here at Richmond, and Larry Pace going to stay out again, John. He was keeping pace with the leaders.
I'm sorry, Ben. You caught me off guard with your sense of humor. I'm surprised at that call again. It was obvious on that restart that the staying out, the older tires were definitely detrimental to the performance of the race car on the track. So I don't know. I would have gone ahead and just got 4 tires. I mean, with all the cars damaged and in the pits, he's not going to lose that many spots.
Certainly not. But also another driver that stayed out was Tommy Ryan, who just tagged a wall, and he didn't necessarily cause that caution, but was a big contributing factor to it. He'll stay out on the track again. You got to be wondering, John, if they're not just hoping for a 10, 12, 15 lap run to maintain their track position, and everybody else is going to come back down. They'll come back down with them, and they'll gain a couple positions that way.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. The right side damage on that 99 after that last impact with the wall is pretty steep. I imagine he's gonna be a little bit tight after that.
Yeah, that was.
I'm looking at it now.
Pretty good leg.
Rough.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're gonna find out, aren't we?
There we are. That's the only thing we can do is sit here and wait. But Tommy Ryan, left side of that car pretty straight. The right side not so much.
No, it's straight. It's
machine.
Very straight.
Yeah.
Extremely straight.
Oh man. Crumpled up.
That's some old short track humor there from us guys that used to race on Southside Speedway, about 10 minutes away from Strawberry Hill.
Yep. If you knock the wall there, your car would definitely be pretty straight on the right side.
Oh, me and that wall in turns 3 and 4 are quite familiar with each other. I think it's probably won more arguments than I have.
Certainly a hard competitor, nonetheless, right?
Oh, it's a frame straightener, if you know what I'm saying, and not in a good way. That thing, I'll tell you what, the first time I ever took a lap around that track was a practice night that they used to have out there, and I borrowed a buddy of mine street stock, and well, without making it too long of a story, he's not a friend of mine anymore. So yeah.
No.
So, yeah.
My oh my.
But tell you what, Richmond Raceway, I was talking about earlier, Ben, they host a late model race every year. It's really fun to watch. I got to participate in a couple of times back in the 90s. Those cars can move around this track. You think, oh, it's a late model. How fast can it go? Well, believe it or not, those cars have 800 horsepower engines in them, and they're not quite as heavy as these NASCAR stock cars are. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah, almost the same speed as the NASCAR Cup cars you see out of the late models. They're more aerodynamic friendly as well. So definitely put on a good show, just like these guys here tonight are, as we turn the lights off atop the pace car, and it's going to be Larry Pace leading us back to the green flag. Donnie Leah will be outside in that number 7. Still got some older tires up at the front of the field. We'll see how they react as we're back racing with 54 laps to go, Richmond.
Wow, the 01 of Pace got a really good start there. The 99 of Ryan's going to pull down the inside of Lee in that 7 and see if he can't take that second spot away going down the 1 and 2.
We'll have to be careful off turn 2. They tiptoe to the backstretch. Donnie Leah has him cleared for the time being. John, you got to figure Leah has not restarted this race on the outside of the front row all night long, so caught sleeping there by Larry Pace.
Just a little bit, but we've seen that from everybody that starts on the outside there. It happened on pretty much every restart since the beginning of the race. The outside line just gets snookered every time. I think that damage is starting to show its ugly head on the 99 there, Ben. He's dropping back pretty quick.
That he is. He sits 4th right now and continues to fall further and further back. Donnie Leah closing in. Not necessarily closing in too quickly on Larry Pace. Pace is able to...
As you say that...
Yeah, he gets a good run off turn 2 there, though. But Larry Pace, for the most part, John, he's keeping a good speed out of that 0-1 machine.
He is, but I think what's going on here is Leah's just sizing him up, trying to figure out where he wants to pass him at, inside or outside. Where's this 01 car weak at? Also, you got Comstock back there in the 42 who looks like he's about ready to make his bid for that lead as well.
And he is a 3-car battle for the lead up front here at Richmond. 50 laps to go this time by. And here comes David Comstock. He says, if you're not going to get around Larry Pace, I'll show you how to do it.
And we got a lap car that's going to jumble things up a little bit. And believe it or not, the 99 still back there in 4th. I really thought he was going to fade back because of that damage, but he's holding his own back there in front of the 12 and the 50 of Hightower.
That he is. We are on the final closing stages of this race here at Richmond. Here comes Donnie Leah to the inside. Battle for the lead in turn 1.
He's sitting down in there hard in the 1 and 2, hoping it's going to stick and be able to roll that center a little bit better. And I don't think he's going to clear the 01. The 01 pulls back out front, but here comes Leah down there on the inside of 3 and 4. Coming off of 4, it's going to be a battle for that lead.
Oh, man, Pace got such a good run off 4. I thought he was going to wall the thing, but he's going to clear the 7 down into number 1. Donnie Leah is going to have to sit back, regroup, and try again, but he can't waste too much time because David Comstock all over the rear bumper, and the caution is out.
Oh, I tell you what, that's got to be frustrating for Comstock. I think he had something for Leah right there.
See 09 Mitchell Riggs going around. Gets a little help from Rick Brundies to bring out this caution. Perfect time for us to take a quick break right here on the Sim Racing Network. You're watching Sim500 Ford Entertainment Group action from Richmond.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Welcome back to Richmond Raceway. Ben Kilcrease, John Mushton on the call. Mylan Lacey tuning in the chat there on the YouTube. If you're tuning in, let us know where you're tuning in from. Be sure to give us a subscribe on YouTube, turn on notifications so you know whenever we're live right here on the Sim Racing Network. Pit stops occurred while we were at break. Donnie Leah was the first car off of pit road, but Eric Brundies stayed out and is in the lead.
Well, I'll tell you what, like the infamous Mylan Lacey says, this track's about brakes and tires, so damage shouldn't have anything to do with it. So we're gonna. I love you, Mylan. I miss you, man. So I guess the 99 really doesn't have anything to worry about, according to Mylan. I don't know. You know, he looked like he was right. We didn't see the 99 drop too far back there, Ben, under that run, even with all that right side damage he has.
Yeah, and we exactly what I mentioned earlier, John, is what happened there. They got a good green flag run in. Those guys that stayed out picked up some track position, and now they're in pretty good shape here as we get set to race to the finish. It'll be 42 laps to go at Richmond.
This restart's going to be really interesting to watch because everybody behind the leader pitted and he didn't. So I'm sure he's feeling a little, little nervous about his decision to stay out on those tires. How long was he out? I think it was like, what, 15 laps, 20 laps?
That it was. Hey, John, let's be quiet for 2 laps. Let's do a SRN. Turn it up at Richmond. Donnie Leah, a spectacular restart and has taken control of this race.
Yeah, I tell you what, I don't know what happened to the guy that stayed out there, but he's gone. I mean, he's fallen back in a hurry, all the way back to 7th place already. In the meantime, Leah is just gone, and he's checked out in his own zip code there. The 52 cars fighting off pace for that 2nd spot. We got a 2-way battle for the 3rd spot behind him between looks like Comstock and Ryan, and Leah's just gone.
That he is, and it's Larry Pace. He'll work his way back to 2nd. He was leading this race coming into the pit stops as Donnie Leah has opened up a huge gap out in front of this field at the line. That time, over a second.
Yeah, in the meantime, back here for 3rd and 4th, Comstock's taking that position away from the 52 car. Looks like Ryan's got his hands full of Hightower down there on the inside.
He does. Hightower working that groove. He almost touched the apron there, John, in the middle of 3 and 4.
That's a no-no.
We've seen what that's done to some guys tonight. So Hightower able to keep the thing straight over in 3 and 4, and off turn 2. He's continuing to battle with that number 99, Tommy Ryan. That car looks like it's been through a demolition derby, and he's fighting for a top 5.
Yeah, Ryan seems to be better on a longer run, so the longer this goes, I think he'll be better. You know, his car will be a little bit better on the outside groove there. I mean, he's keeping up with the 50 car, so, you know, he's not been passed yet. In the meantime, Comstock's really giving Pace a fight for that position, as well as Fuller in the 52.
Fuller says, hey, Comstock, if you're going to go to the inside, I'll help you here. I'll follow you. Put him up the racetrack. We'll both zoom by and try and run down Donnie Leah, who has opened up over a 2.5-second lead here at Richmond.
And Leah's not waiting for anybody to do anything back there. He said, I'm gone, fellas. I got a hot date tonight. So he's checked out. In the meantime, we got single file there for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Back there in 5th, though, it looks like Hightower and Ryan are still fighting out. Now with the 12 car poking his nose into it.
That is, and Ryan looks as if he'll clear Hightower in 1 and 2. He does. And here comes that number 12 of Scott Simley. He works to the outside of Hightower. In 3 and 4, they continue to battle it out there. And for that second spot, Comstock is laid off of Larry Pace for the time being, as that lead maintaining around 1.6 seconds for Donnie Leah.
Again, you know, I said earlier, I think Leah, I don't know, man, maybe he just wants to get a really big cushion out in front of these guys, and then he just kind of levels off and he keeps the same pace and saves his stuff for a little while, hoping that it's going to go green for the rest of the way. In the meantime, it's single file all the way back to Hightower there in 6th position, and it looks like excuse me, Simley and the 20 car are going to give each other a fight for that spot there in 7th and 8th.
They are, and they battle back there, and here comes the battle for second. Comstock now to the inside of Pace, off turn number 4. Pace, a good run down the front stretch for that 0-1 machine, trying to clear the 42, back down into 1, can't do it this time by. Comstock rolls the bottom real good down in 1 and 2, and they're still side by side, runner-up position up for grabs here, and just behind them, Tommy Ryan closing in, and at 99 almost makes contact with the 52 for 4th.
Yeah, last time by, Ryan got a great run off of 2 and pulled up beside the 52 there. Sorry, excuse me, I just lost picture.
That he did, as Fuller continues to run 4th. Ryan has to regroup. And while they battle for that second spot, it's Larry Pace on the outside, Comstock on the inside. Comstock will have to surrender that battle for now. He'll drop back into 3rd, and it is now a 2-second lead for Donnie Leah. John, when we talked to him on the pace laps at the start of this thing, he said, just got to stay out of trouble. It's going to be hard to get in trouble when you have a 2-second lead.
Absolutely, Ben. I tell you what, this is impressive, the lead he's got. This is the biggest lead he's had all night. Of course, this is also the longest I think we've gone under green all night. In the meantime, the lap car is going to bottle these guys up for 2nd and 3rd. Gives Comstock a chance to get back up underneath Pace there, going down the backstretch into 3.
Pace got loose on 2, had to chase it up the track, and Comstock bounces, but can't clear the 0-1 off 4. Pace continuing to fight back around the outside.
Pace looks really strong on that outside line, Ben, but tell you what, Comstock's going to clear him now. Oh, and he's going to cut back down and get back on the inside of Comstock now, going into 3 and 4.
How about that? A crossover by Larry Pace on board with a tobacco-free onboard cam with Larry Pace as they race for that second spot. He'll have to back in behind the 42 for now, and now we'll see if Comstock is going to be able to run down that number 7 of Donnie Leah.
In the meantime, behind them, Coleman got by the 99 of Tommy Ryan when Ryan got loose coming out of 4 last time by, so he's going to scoot up there and take that spot away. And we are back to single file for a little while, it looks like, Ben.
For a little while. Don't hold your breath, John, because I'm sure these guys are going to want to battle it out a little more if they get close to one another. Man, oh man, this is good racing with only now just 25 laps to go in this race.
And in the meantime, Leah has checked out 2.1 second lead over these guys in 2nd and 3rd. I don't know if anybody's got anything for Mr. Leah unless we go back to caution again and maybe get him on a restart. But he's really strong, it looks like.
That he is, maintaining that lead for now. Can Comstock reel him back in? Will Leah catch a lap car in the wrong spot? Anything can happen in these final now 23 laps here at Richmond.
Tell you what, looking back to the field, it looks like we're going to be single file for the top 10. I don't even think we have a battle for position anywhere on the track right now. Just everybody's just kind of taking it easy, let these laps wind down a little bit. We'll probably see some fighting for spots inside of 10 laps to go.
Most definitely, as Leah out in front of this race. Man, John, I think that's the cleanest car on the track. Not a scratch on that number 7 Haviline machine. He has been the furthest he's dropped back, maybe John, 5th tonight, and that's due to some strategy calls by some guys under caution. But other than that, most of the time under green, John, he has been out in front of this field.
Absolutely. He wiggled real bad coming off of 4 just now. I think it's the first time we've seen him make a mistake. But he didn't wreck. He gathered right back up and maintains his lead. He is a strong car right now, and you're right, Ben, not a scratch on that car. He did what he said at the beginning of the race. He stayed out of trouble, kept it clean, and he's looking for a good finish here with a little less than 20 laps to go now.
Comstock has got that battle for to second, and man, oh man, they're getting tight back here as Chad Coleman has gone to the grass. Coleman has gone to the grass. He hit a ditch, a culvert or something down there, and has blown the motor in that number 20 from 5th.
Wow, that's a huge hit. No caution yet, though. Looks like we're going to stay green as he limps around 3 and 4 back to the pit area.
Watch, yeah,
he did not go in the
replay,
pit.
Just battling there with Fuller, and through the infield he goes, and man, that car had all 4 tires off the ground.
Yeah, he hit, I don't know what he hit right there. Looks like he hit a culvert or something and just flew through the air, but he didn't pit.
Hasn't pitted yet, and the track is being smoked out by him. It's got to be affecting the drivers as he heads to pit road. But man, Donnie Leah just cannot get over this run that he has out in front. Comstock is closed to 10th over the last lap or so. We'll see what it is down at the line this time. Oh, it was almost 0.3 of a second, so the 42 is closing the gap in the closing laps.
I think Comstock's going to need some help from these lap cars is what he's going to need. He is a little faster, it looks like, on his lap times than our leader is, but it's still a 1.6 second lead, Ben. I don't know if he's got time without some help from lap cars.
We'll see. Oh, and Comstock agged the wall that time. So they're kind of trading out mistakes here. If Leah makes a mistake one lap, Comstock closes. Comstock makes a mistake the next lap, and Leah pulls away. So Comstock has got to be absolutely mistake-free for these final 15 laps, John, if he wants a shot.
Absolutely, and he only gave up a 10th on that little mistake, that little brush with the wall there. His car doesn't look like it's damaged at all, and he's actually pulled up real good there. I'm sorry, that's a lap car I'm looking at, but yeah, he's still Charlie Mike, though.
And these lap cars, some of them way off the pace due to the damage that they have, but still out there circulating laps. Remember, John, the driver with the most completed laps going to get that free computer from the Ford Entertainment Group, capable of VR or 3 screens.
That's a fantastic way to entice these guys to try and drive smart and clean. You know, give them a prize for having the most completed laps at the end of the season. I tell you what, I'm kind of jealous. I wouldn't mind having myself a new computer.
Well, coming into tonight, John, the top 10 in the championship standings all had the same amount of laps. So that's definitely going to change heading out of Richmond, though, and we'll get that updated next week when we head to Homestead for 100 laps there at the 1.5 mile. Boy, that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, Homestead is a great track. I was just in a league race last night in the trucks over there. I love that track. It should be fun to watch these K&N cars out there. Getting with it. There's so many grooves at Homestead, Ben. You can run high, you can run low, you can run in the middle. There's just so many places to run these cars at Homestead.
That it is. And the draft with these things are so fun to watch him suck up and make the passes. It's really going to be a show. Comstock dead even that time. Crash on the front stretch.
And that's going to shake things up.
Up on the wall there in the 99, and we have another caution. This time it's with 11 to go rather, and that was just some contact with some lap machines there, bringing out the caution.
He got hit again under caution.
Oh man. So caution out again here at Richmond, and this time it has definitely changed the complexion of this race. John, the longest green flag run. Okay, you asked me about 2 tires earlier. Do we see it on this stop?
Oh, this will be fun to watch. Unfortunately, that's going to be the night for Tommy Ryan. He's done.
Fuller stayed out. Fuller stayed out, and he's going to have the lead.
Wow, that's huge. We're going to restart this thing with maybe 4 or 5 laps to go. And those tires are old, but, I mean, it's just going to depend on how many cars stay out with him. Those are all lap cars behind him right now, so we're going to wait till everybody cycles through pit stops and see. But it looks like he and the 52 stayed out.
Man, oh, man.
Oh, he's the 52. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Fuller and the 52.
My apologies, folks.
Going to stay out here. Let's see if anybody else. Brad Bothell Bothwell, excuse me, in the 21. He stays out for the time
And
being.
he's relatively undamaged, Ben. Look at that car.
Yeah, looks good. Nigel Standish in the 85 has stayed out. He's on the lead lap. Doug Sigmund, our winner at Daytona, has stayed out. Chris Gaboo in the 4 has also stayed out, and looks like everybody else has come to pit road. Speaking of pit road, David Comstock gonna beat Donnie Leah off the pits, as does Scott Simley beats the number 7 off pit road. So Donnie Leah went from leading this thing by almost 2 seconds to restarting John almost outside of the top 10.
Yep, and that's got to be frustrating. This guy had the car to beat. I mean, absolutely, hands down, had the car to beat. And because of a decision to come in and take tires, you know, and you're kind of a sitting duck, Ben, in that situation, because with this few laps to go, everybody behind you is looking at you to see what you do, and they're pretty much going to do the exact opposite. So he really, you know, he was going to lose either way.
So now the question is, John, Comstock will restart 6th here. Is he going to have enough time, enough laps, and enough car to get around these guys that stayed out?
I think the question we should ask is, how strong is his front bumper?
You also have to consider, John, if the caution comes out relatively quick, this race is going to be over. This will be the last restart of the night.
That was my next point, Ben. I mean, you got to stop and ask yourself, you've got only 4 or 5 laps to gain some spots. How aggressive do you really want to be? Do you want to risk bringing a caution out and dooming yourself to a worse position, or do you want to try and race these guys hard but clean and prevent that caution from out and try and pass them and get as many, you know, spots as possible? So that's, you know, it's going to be fun to watch, I think.
Oh man, I would hate to be in the driver's seat, John, especially knowing without the green-white checkers here on the iRacing service.
Oh yeah.
Man, oh man, you almost have to go for it right off the bat, because if the caution comes out, like I said, you're done.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's a hard call to make. You know, I've been in this spot myself a couple times, and I don't know. I just feel bad for Leah. He had this race wrapped up, man. He really did, and now he's just got, I think, way too much traffic to work through, and very little time to do it. We're doubled up, Ben, so I guess we're going green here shortly.
Here we go. 5 laps remain at Richmond, and the whole face of this race has changed. It is Justin Fuller, no tires. Brad Bothwell, haven't even mentioned his name tonight in that number 21, restarting on the outside of the front row. We're back underway with 5 to go at Richmond.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we got them stacked up 3 and 4 wide back here. Coming through the turn, Comstock's pushing his way through. Oh my goodness, that's tight.
That's not going to last.
And we got one in the wall. And
somehow they keep it straight, John. Unbelievably, it's Justin Fuller out in front of this field.
Oh,
there they go.
They're wrecking. Here he is.
And Justin Fuller has won at Richmond. And oh my goodness, Rivera is on top of a machine.
Yeah, Leah paid hard for that one, and well, there was a lot of good cars wrapped up in that one. I tell you what, Donnie Leah's got to be seriously disappointed right now. He really does.
Man, oh man, Rivera goes for a wild ride, as does Larry Pace, E.J. O'Rourke, and multiple others involved in this one here at Richmond. But the guy who made the right call there, Justin Fuller, is going to win this race.
Good for him. I tell you what, I'm sure he was nervous, real nervous, when he looked up in his mirror and saw all these other guys that were coming with these 4 tires. Comstock's up there. But I don't think Comstock finished there. He finished in 4th. Okay, so, I mean, you know, it was a gamble, and it paid off for him there, Ben. Good for him.
Man, oh man. So Fuller is going to win the thing, and man, did Comstock make it up? No, he's dropping back there. I thought Comstock may have made it up to 2nd there. But how about Nigel Standish? Never mentioned him in the race, John. Brad Bothwell started 36th. That's almost dead last, and he's going to finish in 3rd here. Man, oh man.
You know what? That's one of the great things about short track racing here at Richmond, especially. You can make some crazy calls like that with less than 10 to go, and it works out for you. And it really worked out for these guys. They chose to stay out and gamble that there was going to be a caution again, and it worked out for them.
Certainly did. 2 to go right here. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. I'll go back to Richmond, serving the final caution. This race is going to end under caution here on iRacing. Don't quite have the green-white checkers that we've been asking for many years.
Soon.
But, yes.
That's
Justin
the key
Fuller,
word,
if you're
man.
just joining
Soon.
us. Justin Fuller, if you're just joining us, stayed out. We had about a 30-lap green flag run. He stayed out under caution with 10 to go, and he is now leading this race here at Richmond, and he is going to take the white flag.
That's got to be a good feeling right there, Ben, to take such a huge gamble like that, knowing that you are on old tires, knowing you're not the fastest car on the track, and still be able to pull off the win. So kudos to that 52 crew. They did a good job.
That they did. Hey, he didn't have the best run at Daytona. Rockingham was an up-down night for the 52. And didn't mention him a lot here tonight, but for the most part, it's a clean machine overall for Justin Fuller. He's going to head through 3 and 4 under pacing for the final time here at Richmond, and off turn number 4. It's a strategy call that wins him the race. Justin Fuller going to win round number 3 here in the Sim500 Ford Entertainment Group K&N Series at Richmond.
Nigel Standish rings it home in second, and look at that. Brad Bothwell from 36th to 3rd, Ben. That's a great run right there.
Man, oh man. We'll talk to Bothwell, Standish, and your winner. Right after this, you're watching the Sim Racing Network.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to Richmond International Raceway. As, man, oh man, a wild race nonetheless here at Richmond as we get set to head down pit side where John Mushton has caught up with the driver who started in 36th, John Brad Bothwell.
Thank you, Ben. Bad Brad Bothwell, man. Look at you, 36th to 3rd, man. Talk about your race tonight and the decision to stay out on that last caution.
Well, I knew the tire wear wasn't really that bad. I mean, truthfully, I was banking on a caution. I mean, I didn't know how long me and Justin and a couple of the other guys stayed out too. I really don't know how bad that the tire wear actually was, but I don't know. I was just taking a chance. I mean, I needed some points when to stay on the lead lap. I just gambled today, and it paid off.
Well, Brad, we were watching up in the booth, and we noticed that your car was relatively unscathed. I want to know how you pulled that off. Tonight was a festive race, to say the least, and you looked like you were in pretty good shape as far as fenders go.
Yeah, I got into one incident. I don't know, the 90-something made it 3 wide. I was in the middle, and yeah, I had like 6 seconds of damage. That was it, though.
That's not too bad, but well, congratulations on a 3rd place finish. That's outstanding, buddy, and thank you for providing us with a heck of a show tonight. We really appreciate you driving out there.
Well, thank you guys for broadcasting. It was a great race tonight. Had a lot of fun.
As Brad Bothwell bringing it home in third from a starting position of 36th. Back to you there, Ben.
Man, oh man, that's definitely, if he doesn't win the biggest mover of the race, I don't know. We're gonna have to wait for the judges to put that in. But man, oh man, this next driver, he finished second, and he came from 11th. Didn't hardly mention him all race, John, but at the end, he was there when it counted.
Yes, sir. Nigel Standish, another one. Where'd he come from? Award winner. Started at 11th. Nigel, no offense, but we didn't really talk about you a whole lot tonight until all of a sudden you stayed out for that last caution and got yourself a whole bunch of spots. Talk about your race, bud.
Yeah, I was in the kind of 8th to 12th spot all night. Didn't really get any track position. I think we could have showed a little better, maybe top 5. But that last run, I was kind of hoping for a late yellow, save the tires, and see if we could get a caution like that, and it worked out.
Yeah, Ben and I were talking up in the booth. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't have stayed out myself. I love me some fresh tires, but several of you guys did, and you made it work. And I mean, man, that was a very impressive run to the finish for you guys. How'd you feel when you saw that caution fly? A little bit relieved, maybe?
Yeah, I can't say I was too unhappy. I knew those guys. I knew I had a 1-row buffer of old tire guys, so I was happy to see that. Obviously, would have liked to have had a shot at Justin, but he kind of got away there on the start. But overall, definitely a good night. Glad the yellow came out and coming home with a second. Not too unhappy about that.
Well, Brad, we're glad to be able to talk to you tonight, and thank you so much for your time. You want to give a shout out to anybody while we got you?
Just thanks to my buddies for watching. And yeah, that was it. Thanks for y'all putting on a great show, and we'll see you next week.
Well, once again, congratulations, Nigel, on your second place finish. You have a good evening. We'll see you next week. And we're going to throw it over to Victory Lane, where Ben Kilcrease has caught up to tonight's winner, Justin Fuller. Ben?
Justin Fuller, another one of those drivers that started back in the field. 20th for the driver on the number 52. Ran up front for a good portion of the night. We didn't mention him too much. He wasn't making a lot of big moves, but Justin, man, oh man, walk us through what made you make that call there on that last caution.
Well, we didn't get a good qualifying lap. This is one of my worst tracks, hands down. I've always said that, and I'll continue to say it. So we're not very good here at a hot lap. I'm pretty decent on a long run, and I don't know if the lap time showed that or not, but that initial first long run we got was I went from 20th all the way up to 6th, and then I sped on pit road, rebounded, sped on pit road again, and came back through the field once more. It would have taken a really long run to probably beat David or Donnie. But we got held up a little bit there, racing with the 01. He ran a good race. Can't fault him for that. He's racing too. But David and I got held up a little bit there. Let Donnie get away. David was definitely running him down. But when it came down to it there, I decided, well, it's going to be, if we get a caution real quick, the race is over. I'm not going to be able to do anything on fresh tires. I'm not good on a short run. So my best option was just to stay out.
Definitely the right call at the end of the night. Big lottery up for grabs. I think you played the balls just right, the numbers just right here tonight. Justin Fuller, a winner at Richmond. Justin, anybody you want to thank for putting you in victory lane tonight?
Hey, I want to thank the Ford Entertainment Group for sponsoring this series. Everybody at Sim500 for all the work they do behind the scenes and during the race. This race was a little rocky tonight with the cautions, but you'll have that with about 40 cars on a little short track like this. Thank you guys for putting on an awesome broadcast as always. Thank everybody that raced with us. I want to thank my teammates at Aftermath Motorsports. I want to thank everybody that raced with us tonight. I think I just said that. I want to thank my sponsors. I don't really have a paint scheme for my sponsors in this race, but I want to thank GaryMercerTrucking.com and or GMercer.com. I'm sorry. And Kick-Ass Beef Jerky. If you're looking for any jerky, head over to their website, kickassbeefjerky.com. They got value packs. They're $15, free shipping. Stuff's great. I got some sitting right here. I ate a couple bars under in the race and ready to go on to the next one, I guess.
There you go. A kick-ass performance by Justin Fuller tonight here at Richmond. Justin, congrats on your win. We'll see you next week at Homestead.
Thank you. Have a great week.
Justin Fuller, winner tonight here at Richmond. And John, you've caught up with, I can imagine, a very heartbroken Donnie Leah.
Yeah, I've caught up with Donnie down here in the garage area. Donnie, man, if there's a Captain Heartbreak Award tonight, it's got to go to you, buddy. You had a dominating car. You led the most laps. I mean, man, you were just putting it down. And unfortunately got caught up in a late race incident there. Talk to us about your race, pal.
Nah, it was fun, man. What are you going to do? Shit happens, right? Just, late race caution. It's one of them deals, you stay out. Or you pit, and it's just one of them things. But that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Ben and I were talking during the break after you guys pitted. As the leader, you got a target on your back, and you when you come down to late race cautions like that, everybody behind you is going to do the exact opposite of what you do. So you were really in a losing situation no matter what. It's unfortunate you got caught up in that incident, but from here, where do you go, man?
Yeah, just racing the Sim500 series. I want to thank Joe and the guys for having me here. A lot of fun, a lot of racing all throughout the week these guys run. So I want to thank you guys for doing this stuff with the broadcast. You guys are awesome. And Ford Entertainment Group for sponsoring this series. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, we'll be racing, I want to say Friday night again. So that's my next race.
Fantastic. Well, look, Donnie, again, man, we sorry for your luck tonight, man. It was a thrill to watch you turn those laps tonight down there at Richmond Raceway. You put on a great show, pal. We will see you next week, and hopefully we talk to you in a better standpoint over there in Victory Lane.
Yeah, man, no problem. It's all good. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
And that's it from down here in the garage, Ben. Back to you.
And Donnie Leah, you could hear the disappointment in his voice as we take a look at the final standings from tonight, or the final finishing results from tonight, rather. Justin Fuller, of course, your race winner. Nigel Standish, I'll get it out here pretty soon. Second, Brad Bothwell is third. David Comstock comes home fourth. Chris Caboo is fifth. Sixth, the Mitchell Riggs. Seventh, Scott Simley. Jordan Hightower rebounded for eighth. Nelson Rivera was on top of a car. He'll come home ninth. Jonathan Lockhart rounds out the top 10. The rest of the field will scroll across your screen there, John, as we get ready to pack up here from Richmond. 3/4 mile will double the length of this track and head to the 1.5 miles of Homestead Miami Speedway next Tuesday right here on the Sim Racing Network, 9 p.m. Eastern. 100 laps. We talked about it, man. That's going to be a fun race.
Yeah, we should see some really great racing down there in Miami next week, Ben. I'm sure we'll probably see some more gambling on tires and whatnot. But I tell you what, I really enjoyed tonight's race. A lot of unexpected calls, and again, probably a lot of expected calls when you stop and think about it. Some great racing and some heartbreak and some excitement. And I tell you what, Rivera to get a top 10 after flying down the front stretch upside down on top of another car, that's got to be I'm the luckiest guy in the world award right there, huh?
Certainly, for sure. Man, the storylines are endless leaving Richmond. We'll have a lot to talk about next Tuesday, and we hope you join us right here on the Sim Racing Network. Thank you for tuning in. John, any final thoughts from Virginia tonight?
I was not disappointed. I don't think our fans were either. I hope everybody watching really enjoyed the show tonight. I want to thank Mylan Lacey for chatting with us over there in the chat box. Don't forget, folks, you can drop us a line, say hi to us, talk about what you see, what you think about the race. Ben, Mitch, thanks for a great show tonight, and let's move it on down to Miami. I heard it's warm down there.
It's a little warmer than Virginia, I guarantee. So, for all of us here at the Sim Racing Network, Mitch Rollo, John Mushton, I am Ben Gilcrease. Remember to like us on Facebook. All you have to do is search the Sim Racing Network, subscribe to us on YouTube, and be sure to turn on notifications so you can be notified whenever we are live. That'll do it for us tonight. For Sim500 action from Richmond, we'll see you next Tuesday at Homestead Miami Speedway. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, when you're out there on the road, put that phone down. We'll see you next week. Good night from Richmond.